Today we're taking a look at the EVO XF 33 from PSE for 2022. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and today we are taking a look at the new 2022 lineup from PSE, and we have got the new EVO XF 33 with us, and we've got this model in the EC cam that we're going to be looking at today. Now PSE is making all those bows down there in Arizona, and they are pumping bows out, so even though these were introduced at the ATA show, they are pumping them out to the dealers, and you're going to be able to get these bows fairly quickly at your shops. So let's run through some of the specs on this bow. The IBO speeds on this are 326 to 334, and PSE always does give you that kind of a speed range on things, but the top end of that is at 334 feet per second. The axle to axle on this bow is coming in at 33 inches with an overall cam to cam length at 39.5 inches. Now the brace height on this bow is coming in at 7 1/8 inches, so it's a fairly high brace height even for a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow. Gonna make a really forgiving platform even if you wanted to shoot this bow on the target circuit. Now the factory spec weight on this bow is coming in at 4.5 pounds, and we did throw it on the scale out of the box and we got 4.8 pounds. We pulled a couple of things off of it since it's not coming with limb dampeners. We pulled the grip off of it. We got it down to a 4.6. So right there, really close to where the spec weight's coming in at, just a fudge over what they're advertising, but not anything to get real excited about there. Now with the EC cam model, it does have plenty of adjustability on this cam, and it still has that 80 to 90% let off that you can move with that draw stop peg on the end of the module. And the module is going to rotate all the way from 26 on the short end out to 31.5 on the long end. So that's pretty nice reaching most of you long draw guys, unless you are a true 32 inches, this bow is going to fit you. So it's got an extra little space there to get some of you longer draw guys into the standard cam model on this bow. Now you can order it in draw weight options from 60 out to 80 pounds in 10-pound increments, and that gives you plenty of spread there for most folks, and we've seen a lot of guys moving towards that 80-pound option. You can get it in this bow, and with that EC cam, it's got a really easy draw cycle on it, and it's going to feel really good, probably going to allow you to bump the weight up a little bit if you're looking to gain a little bit. Now taking a look at some of the changes that they made on this bow from the EVL last year, one of the first things that was brought to our attention was the longer limb. It's just a little bit longer than what was on the EVL, and that allowed them to get similar speeds out of this bow, but giving a higher brace height and still keeping that higher speed. So that's going to give you more forgiveness with the higher speed rating by giving you that slightly longer limb in this bow. They also changed the limb pocket to a limb vise locking pocket, holding everything on this bow nice and tight. You're getting no movement out of that. It's going to help give it a very stable platform, again, making it a very accurate shooting bow. One of the other things that we noticed right off the bat that they changed was the cable guard, and we felt that's something that PSE has needed to address for a while, because there was always that ability where it could come loose in the back of the riser and move. If you kept up with it, it wasn't a real big issue, but the fact that they moved to this new guard lock cable system, and it's built on a dovetail mounted directly into the riser and torqued down, you're able to still adjust it if you want to move that cable guard to allow a little less flex and take some cam lean out. You can still adjust it, but it locks down in a positive position, not going to be able to move. You're not going to have to worry about things rotating when you're not looking if something would happen to come loose. Now some of the things they kept on this model that has been on a few models in the past, they've still got that integrate rest mount option. You can use that QAD integrate rest and mount directly to that dovetail in the back. They've also kept with the double rest holes if you're shooting a conventional rest and mounting it on there. We like to see those double rest holes that you can lock down your rest if you have a rest that has a long enough slot, so that you're positive it's not going to be able to move in any situation. From there, on the front end, they kept with the dual stabilizer system, so you've still got an upper standard stabilizer mounting hole, but you've also got the lower mounting hole down near the limb pockets if you want to balance and weight this bow out a little differently to give it the feel that you want. They also kept with that rear mounting stabilizer hole, so you can get some back bar weighting there as well, just to kind of balance this whole platform out in the way that shoots best for you. Now they kept with the multiple sight mounting holes. That has been something that PSE has used, so if you need that extra adjustment moving up or down on your sights to get the sight window picture proper, you're still going to have that ability to move your sight up and down on the multiple mounting holes. They also kept with a rubber grip included on this bow, so if you're the guy who likes a rubber grip, a little fatter grip in your hand, it does have a good feel. And also if you want to take that off and get that slimmer, more target style feel of a grip, you can go down to the bare metal on this handle and get a really nice, forgiving, thin grip in your hand that feels awesome as well. They kept with the precision bus tuning system in the cables, which allows you to make those adjustments in cam lean or adjustments that you need to on tearing for your left and right paper tuning and things. You're going to be able to make those adjustments in that bus tuning system very easily and quickly. They kept with the single string stop there at the bottom, taking out the vibration and noise through the shot, and they kept with that integrated sling system that mounts into the limb bolt hole, so you can buy that custom sling from PSE that snaps in and out very quickly and easily onto this bow. Now it does come in several color options, and PSE kept a similar color palette that they've had in the past. You've got 3 solid color options in the black, charcoal, and tan. The charcoal is a new finish, so if you're used to that charcoal from a few years back, this is a little different finish on it, but still looks great in that charcoal color. They also kept with 5 camo options: the Mossy Oak Country, QU Verde, a First Light Fusion, the Subalpine, and the Elevated 2. So a lot of colors there that you can make this bow customized out and looking just the way you want it. Now the EVO XF33 is coming in at a price point of $12.99, and that is pretty much right there with everybody else's flagship bows when you get to these longer axle to axles. So don't expect the price to be much different than you're seeing from the competition. They're right there at $12.99 as well. From here, we're going to step over to the range. We're going to shoot a few shots, give you a breakdown on the speed ratings on this bow as well as the decibel readings on it. As usual, we will be shooting this bow at 70 pounds on 29 inches and a 400 grain arrow, and we're going to shoot it on 85% let off. And then we're also going to give you some other speed options from other grain weights just to kind of give you an idea where this bow is going to rate as far as speeds with different weight arrows. So we stepped over here to the lane. We're going to take a few shots out of the XF33. And as usual, we'll be shooting this bow on 70 pounds, 29-inch draw length with a 400 grain arrow, and putting it on 85% let off. So we will give you some specs on what the other grain weights of arrows shot through this bow as well, but let's get a shot out of this thing and see what kind of speeds we're getting. All right, so 300 feet per second with that 400 grain arrow. Pretty fast for a longer axle to axle and high brace height bow. We're real pleased with those numbers. To give you an idea across the basis of the other weights, we dropped this down to a 350 grain arrow and it shot 320 feet per second. From there, once we brought it back up to a 450 grain arrow, we then got it at 285. And then with a 500 grain arrow, it dropped down to 273. So being quite efficient with the higher the weight you're going, you're not losing nearly as many feet per second. So really holding its speeds quite well. Now, as far as the decibel rating, we've got that one coming in at 97.1 decibels. Right there in the middle of the road, not real loud, but not the quietest thing we've seen. So overall, just a great shooting bow, and something that we're really pleased with the changes that PSE has made for this year. Through the draw cycle with that Evolve Cam, it's the same as you should expect, as it always has been. Really smooth coming over, feels really great on the wall. If you put it on that 90% let off, you know, you're holding nothing. Still just a great platform and a great feeling cam if that's what you're wanting. The grip on this bow with the rubber grip sits really solid in your hand. And again, if you don't like that, you're able to take that off. Just sits really well, feels really good, not torquey in the hand at all. For a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow, this is something that kind of fits in my wheelhouse and something that I really like to shoot. And you know, if it's something you're looking for from PSE and it fits your build, give us a call here at Mike's Archery and we'll get you set up with one.